Palang cakap? Tak, cuba sembang dengar tak?
Baik. Baik, salam bapa. Masuk kita dengan baik. Bukan bapa saja cakap dua semua. Bapa ada beberapa lagi nak tolong ni. Bapa ingat dengan je.
Ya, dengar. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. And good morning to all of participants, all viewers. Some may be following through the IIUM Academy channel. I think the guests Malay speaking, so I think I will mix the presentation, inshallah, with a little bit of Malay as well. So let me share my screen. All right. Again, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The program that I would like to introduce in this previous session is the International Foundation Program, which is managed by IIUM Academy of Graduate and Professional Studies, which in short we call IIUM Academy. So this program is open to Malaysians and also international. But Malaysians using SPM, normally they would apply through the UPU online, the ministry program. But through the International Foundation Program, the holders of IGCSE and also other international qualifications may apply and join the foundation program of IIUM. So IIUM Academy of Graduate and Professional Studies is a unit in IIUM itself. It is not a subsidiary or anything. It is a unit in IIUM, International Islamic University, Malaysia. And as the Dean of IIUM Academy, I'm also the Senate member of the university. So the preview will have the introduction and some information about academic matters, and then the fees and the hostel for the student. And by the way, you can see in the background this is the block that we occupy as IIUM Academy in IIUM. So the whole block has 5 blocks. The whole building has 5 blocks. We occupy block E, which is at the end here, and this is called KICT building inside IIUM Gombak campus. All right. So in terms of the basic info about this program, this program is actually a pathway for degree programs in IIUM. A pathway for degree programs in IIUM, and it means that the students who complete their studies in the foundation program, the International Foundation Program, will go to the various faculties of IIUM, in which in IIUM we call kulliyah. And with regard to the choice of faculties, we have altogether 13 foundation programs that applicants can choose from, because the specific programs that the students choose or the candidates choose will lead them to specific specializations further at the degree level. And as you can see at the bottom there, this International Foundation Program is not actually meant to be a pathway for gaining entry into other institutions of learning. Dia program ni adalah program dalaman IIUM bagi mereka yang berminat untuk menyambung pelajaran di peringkat degree, di peringkat ijazah sarjana muda di dalam IIUM sendiri. However, there are some who have completed. There were some students who have completed this program. They decided to try to gain entry into some of the overseas universities, and some of them have been successful in getting admission into universities in Japan, in Dublin, in UK, and also in Canada. Recently, we had one student who got entry into the degree program in a university in Canada. but we do not provide additional papers for the candidates, for example, to for us to do the accreditation with various countries. That is not what we do. We just prepare the certificate and also the transcript. So if the certificate and the transcript are acceptable to any universities elsewhere in the world, so that would be good. But the focus, as you can see in this slide, the focus is actually for the students to complete their foundation programs in IIUM and to proceed to the degree programs in IIUM itself. In terms of the programs, these are the various options that candidates can take: foundation and allied health sciences, architecture, environmental design, Arabic language, biological science, engineering and computer science, foundation in English language, foundation in human sciences, foundation in economics and management sciences, foundation in Islamic review knowledge, in nursing, in law, in physical science, and last but not least, foundation in medicine. And just a glimpse in terms of the requirements. If the candidates or the applicants use the IGCSE certificate or the O-level, the old O-level certificate, or those who study in UK, maybe they have the GCSE, the instead of the I, which is the international GCSE. So the grades that we give here is based on IGCSE, which still have the letter grade C, B, and so on and so forth. In UK, this has been changed into number grade, and interestingly, they have used different numbers. I mean, opposite to the numbers that we use in Malaysia. So our best grade in Malaysia is 1, but right now in UK the best grade is 9. The GCSE, the best grade under GCSE is 9. However, for the international, they still have the letter grade. I'll just go to some of the popular programs under our foundations. One is Foundation in Economics and Management Sciences. And you can see here that the minimum grade required would be C in English, B in mathematics or additional mathematics, and C in 3 other subjects, which should not be a language subject, because sometimes for candidates from overseas, sometimes they take their own national language as part of the subjects that they take for O-level or IGCSE. So we are counting only English and non-language subjects. Another program that is very popular is actually engineering and computer science. And for this, there must be grade C in English, 2 Bs from the group of physics, mathematics, and additional mathematics, and at least grade C in chemistry. We have a lot of students under Foundation in Human Sciences also. This is the lowest grade if people would like to join, in terms of if you compare all the requirements, basically the Foundation in Human Sciences and Foundation in for Foundation in Human Sciences, the grades that are required are all Cs, which means 5 Cs altogether. So Then for foundation in law, another popular program, there will be 4 Bs required, and the Bs must be in English and 3 other subjects. And for mathematics, it must at least be grade C. Okay. We have been receiving also applications for foundation in medicine, and for medicine, there is no discount whatsoever. It has to be A in all subjects taken. So the grade must be A for English, mathematics, chemistry, and biology, and another A from a non-language subject. But if the student has 5 A's in this, and then there is another subject, additional subject, that subject has a B, for example, the committee might still accept, but in general, the requirement for medicine is to have straight A's. And in terms of the duration of study, it is only for 1 year for students who do not need to repeat any semesters. Smooth sailing from the start, and this will take only 3 semesters in 1 year. But if there are students who are struggling, and in the end they reach the maximum of 2 years, and still they have some subjects that they cannot pass, it means that that's the end of the story for them, because the maximum allowed is only 2 years. This is an important information in terms of the study campus, because the students, they are not all based in the Gombak campus, but there are many programs that are offered at Gambang campus in Pahang. So you have foundation in the list you can read by yourself here: health sciences, architecture and environmental design, Arabic language, biological science, medicine, engineering and computer science, Islamic review knowledge. And Islamic review knowledge, by the way, is Islamic studies. Internally in IIUM, we use the term Islamic review knowledge, referring to the wahyu, the revelation that the Prophet Muhammad SAW received from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then foundation in nursing and foundation in physical science. In terms of the programs that are run at Gombak campus, there are 4 programs altogether. And actually, at the moment, even though there are only 4 programs that are run in Gombak campus, the larger number of students are actually based in Gombak campus. So there are more students in these 4 programs than the programs that are run in Gambang campus in Pahang. So foundation in economics and management sciences, foundation in English language, foundation in human sciences, and foundation in law. For students who are based in KL, we also allow the students to stay outside campus, which means they can stay with their parents and they come during the day to attend the classes. For Gambang campus, maybe if the parents are staying in Gambang, they might stay with their parents, but most Gambang is not a big residential area. So at the moment, all students who are taking the specific programs offered in Gambang, they are all staying in the foundation hostels provided by IIUM. So they don't need to find houses or rooms to rent. They have hostels over there. But for Gombak campus, even though we have hostels, but the those who are staying in, parents who are staying in KL might choose to let their children stay with them, and the students will commute from home to the campus for taking the classes. And after completing the program, the good thing is that the students will not need to apply again to join the degree program, because this is a progression. From the foundation program, the student will progress without needing to apply once again for entry into the undergraduate program or the bachelor programs of IIUM, provided, as you can see on the slide here, that they meet the required CGPA. So it can be seen here that all the faculties require 2.5 in terms of the ending CGPA for the foundation program, except for Kuliah Medicine. So if the students are accepted in the foundation of medicine, but at the end of the program, the student achieves only 3.2 or 3.3, they cannot go into the faculty of medicine, they cannot do the MBBS. So they have to go for another faculty. So maybe they will go to faculty of science, for example, Kuliah of science, or maybe they would go to maybe even nursing, for example, or allied health sciences, but not medicine. So those who are given the admission into the foundation in medicine, it is not necessary that they will gain entry into the MBBS if their ending CGPA is not as stated here, at least 3.5. But the good news is that those who are taking foundation in allied health sciences, and then during the foundation study, the student do very well, achieving something like 3.6. So for this type of students, the university will open the door for the opportunity to request if they want to join the MBBS, the medicine at the bachelor level. So even though they are taking foundation in allied health sciences, as I mentioned now, they do very well, achieving very high grade, 3.6, 3.7 to 3.8. So they will be given the opportunity to request or to apply if they want to join the MBBS program. So you can see there that somebody who is in medicine at the foundation but do not meet the grade will not go into MBBS, but somebody in allied health sciences, maybe the grade at the IGCSE is not so good, so cannot join the foundation in medicine, but join foundation in allied health science. And then during the foundation study, they beef themselves up and get very high grade. Then the door is open for them to apply. As I have to make it clear, to apply, because there is another process in terms of interview, because sometimes there might be situations where parents might force the student to join MBBS, whereas the student is not really interested. So there is an interview process, and to know whether the student is really interested in joining MBBS. And the grade wise, if the grade is okay and the student passed the interview, inshallah, the student can join the MBBS program. All right, in terms of fees, we have the international rates. this is the international rate. I'll just go through quickly. I'm not going to read it out. It's on the screen. So what need to be understood here is that all the fees stated here exclude the credit hours for Arabic and English proficiency courses. You can see the notes down there. What is meant by that? In our foundation program, if the students has got A in English, then there is no more English requirement for the student. And another thing is the requirement for Arabic. All students who join our international foundation program, we need to take Arabic. So this for some people, this might feel that it is going to be hard for their children who has never studied Arabic before. But what I want to say is that our program, we have had non-Muslims from overseas joining the program, and they have completed the Arabic, alhamdulillah, without much of a problem. Even though they have to start by learning the scripts, instead of the Muslim students who might have learned how to read the Quran, so the scripts, the Arabic scripts are they are already familiar with the Arabic scripts. But we have had a student from Japan, for example, a non-Muslim, but she has completed the Arabic, alhamdulillah, quite easily because of the effort. She has had to learn from the very basic, which is to learn the script itself. So now, for Arabic and English, those who do not achieve A in IGCSE English, they will be required to take what we call Arabic placement test and also English placement test. So now, for Arabic placement test and English placement test, let's say the students achieve 6, band 6 in the English placement test. It means that they are good enough. They do not need to take any more proficiency English course during their foundation program. So it means that less fee to be paid for the program. But let's say if the student achieve band 6 or band 5 for English, so it means that there is one more level to be completed. So, and then when we have the classes arranged for the students to complete that level, so there will be additional fee for that course. In terms of Arabic, the requirement is not band 6, it's not level 6, but only band 2. So it means that if the students cannot do the Arabic placement test at all, so the maximum that they are required to do is 2 levels of Arabic. So it means that it has to be taken in 2 semesters. And for that, there is an additional fee for the courses. Now we come to the Malaysian rates. So for Malaysian rates, you can see here is for foundation in Allied Health Sciences, 16,765, excluding, as I mentioned to you, excluding the language courses, if the language courses are required upon the students. Because there are some students who join from Islamic schools, Islamic integrated schools. They take IGCSE, but in the school they also learn Arabic. So sometimes some of them can clear the requirements of Arabic from the Arabic placement test, which means that they do not need to take any language proficiency courses at all, neither Arabic nor English. So it means that if somebody has is in that situation, then the total fee will only be this, without any additional charges for the language courses. All right, so viewers can see here for architecture and environmental design, for Arabic language, and then biological science, economics and management sciences, foundation in English. Another thing I have to note here, I have to remark here, let's say if the students need to repeat a course, so that will be the repeat will require additional charges as well, because the fee here is based on credit hours. So if they need to repeat 3 credit hours for one course, or maybe there are some courses with 4 credit hours, so they have to pay additional fee based on the credit hours of the repeat subjects. We have here foundation in engineering, foundation in human sciences, foundation in Islamic revealed knowledge, foundation in law 13,000, physical science 17,000, nursing 16,000, and then medicine 16,000 as well, 16,765. Right. I have mentioned that billing, as mentioned to you, those who need to repeat, they will have to pay additional charges, because billing is based on attempted credit. If a student attempts a subject twice, the billing will be twice as well. And these are the fees per credit hour. So if a Malaysian student needs to repeat a 1 credit hour course, so it means that there will be an additional 215 ringgit additional charge for the repeat subject. And this is the fees for English proficiency courses and Arabic proficiency courses. So for Malaysian, English per level is 2,240. For Arabic is 1,680. Now, for the international students, no student can join the program if they do not have the visa approval letter from the immigration. However, if the student has a PR or resident pass, so students who have those 2 types of passes only, I mean, for international student, those who have those 2 types of passes only can join without needing the visa approval letter. But in general, students will need the visa approval letter. So for us, even though the students are in Malaysia, if they do not have the visa approval letter, we are not going to matriculate the student, which means we are not going to register the student, enroll the student into the program, because we have to be very strict with this, because the immigration law in Malaysia is very, very strict, and we do not have any violation whatsoever throughout our operation since 2016 in terms of international students in the International Foundation Program. With regard to the personal bond, this is according to the rate decided by the government, but at the end of the program, this will be returned to the student. So, in terms of charging, this is an example of the charging that we do, if a student, for example, takes 20 credit hours and then one English proficiency course and one Arabic proficiency course, let's say in human sciences program, and then the student is staying at hostel. So there are a few items there. One is the tuition fee for 20 credit hours. If you remember, just now I said for international, the fee for arts is 305 per credit hour. So 20 credit hours, it means 20 credit, 20 multiplied by 305. So that will be 6,000, and then the English course, and then the Arabic course, the recurrent fee. There is a recurrent fee. This is the fee decided by the university for all the students, and then the hostel fee. So the total for this is for one semester. So the student will then have another semester, and so on and so forth. For hostel, the units with the lowest charges would be the quadruple sharing units. So what is meant by quadruple sharing unit? You in the hostel the unit will have one door, but there are compartments. Inside that door, there are partitions, but wall partitions. It's not partitioned by like maybe cardboard or something like that. No, but wall partition. So the student will have a little bit of privacy inside the unit. So that is what we call quadruple sharing. And the fee is very, very low. As you can see here, the fee per year for Malaysian is only 1,675 ringgit. And as mentioned here, students may request to stay outside campus as well, if they are staying nearby. Moving on to the intake. So this year, the intake will be, the first intake will be August 2021. So the application deadline will be 30th of June. So about 1 month from now. So about 40 days from now. We are 21st today, 21st of May. So we have the whole of June for applications to come in for the August intake. But for the year, there is another intake, which is November. Why do you here? Maybe you are thinking why it is mentioned here July and November, because the disruption in terms of pandemic. So the normal intake would be actually in July, but as we are adjusting to the pandemic situation, we have to move a little bit. So for next intake will be in August, even though this August is actually in normal times would be the July intake. And then we have November intake also for the year. So that's it. That would be my presentation. And if there are any questions, I will be happy to entertain the questions. And hopefully the information can be beneficial for the parents to consider the pathway to be and the choices to be taken, to be considered in terms of the tertiary education for their children. And with that, I will end my presentation. Wabillahi tawfiq. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is not. It is not encouraged because uh, it means that they will have to start all over again. So it means that let's say somebody who takes foundation in engineering and then suddenly they found out that I mean the student found could not cope uh, with engineering, or maybe they lose interest. The student loses interest in engineering, for example. So um, the switch is not automatic, which means that we do not uh, just because the student apply, for example, to change a program, then the university will allow the student to change. That is not the case because, uh, as you know, uh, IIUM is a public university, so we are very serious about students' commitment and things like that. So the students will, if their results are not good, for example, and they do not submit the assignments or participate in class, so it means that they have red flags over them. So the student might not be allowed to change program. But if they are genuinely unable to cope with the program, this is normally we can find it out through interview and things like that, and feedback from the teachers, for example, from the lecturers. And in that situation, if the situation is genuine, so the university may allow the student to change the program, and then they will have to start all over again, and the fees will start from zero again. I mean, the fee will whatever that has been paid for the first program is gone. So uh, the fees for the other program will be applicable from the beginning of the whatever semester that they start. Yes. Is this your question or somebody else's question? So are you saying that I mean I want to be clear about the question there. Um, somebody from other colleges, they want to withdraw. Okay, let's I mean the situation here is like this. Number one, there is an age limit to the foundation program. So the age limit maximum is 20 years at the point of admission. So in August, the student must be below 20 years old. So if the student is 20 years old in September this year, so the student can still be accepted. But if the student is 20 years old on the last day of July, so we cannot accept the student. Now, how does age limit come to the picture here? The situation is like this. The students, for example, let's say a student finish SPM. After taking SPM, then the student decided to go to a college. And then the students take, let's say, foundation program in that college, and suddenly the student loses interest, doesn't want to continue, or the parents is not happy. So the parents would like the student to join IUM. So what we will be looking at is the SPM result, whether the SPM result is good enough for entry into our foundation program. If the result is good enough, then we look, another thing that we look at is the age limit. So if the student is still 19 by the time for enrollment, then it's okay. Otherwise, the student will not be accepted. The applicant will not be admitted. All right. Okay. Assalamualaikum.